Hello everyone. Now this video is about your favorite superstar, Mr. SRK. Most of you would not like what you're hearing, but then let me promise you one thing, that if you watch the video till the end, you will realize that I've researched enough, dug into most of his interviews with regards to his business, and also a lot of other research material that I've looked into before going ahead and making this video. Now, let me clarify that this is with not regards to his movie career. Now, even I agree that nobody can bring romance on the big screen as well as Mr. SRK does. And he's got 8 film fairs to prove that, to corroborate this matter. But then, what I'm talking about is his business ventures. Now, interesting fact about Mr. SRK is that he is the richest movie star that we have currently in India, and I think he's rated second overall, that is in the world, when it comes to somebody who's related with entertainment business and who also does other business. And but when you compare these celebrities as such, you see that SRK is on the top when it comes to India and is in the second place when you compare to rest of the world. Well, that's a huge achievement and we have to applaud him for that. But having said that, first let's look into what all Mr. Shah Rukh Khan makes his money from. Firstly, everyone knows there's his production house and movies. Now, usually he charges about 25 to 30 crores per movie, but he also gets a share in the profit. Now, that's something which is popped up very recently, maybe about 5, 6 years back. This is started, but most of the movie stars do that because as a A-list star, whether it's Shah Rukh Khan or Akshay Kumar or Amir Khan, everybody carry certain amount of fan base, right? So if a Salman Khan movie is released, it doesn't matter how good the movie is, how bad the movie is. You are sure that there's a certain amount of fan base coming in to go ahead and watch the movie. So that's something that they have achieved, whether it's Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, or Amir Khan, or even Akshay Kumar, that they have achieved through the period, through the efforts that they have put, and that has to be respected, and that's why they get paid shared in shares in their profits. But then that's one important point as well, which you would know why. Secondly, endorsements. Now, if you look at all the stars that they are, they're in the endorsement industry. Celebrities that I'm talking about, whether it's Sachin Tendulkar, Amitabh Bachchan, or Shah Rukh Khan, or anyone for that matter. Shah Rukh Khan tops that list as well with the number of brands that he signed and number of the ads that he gets. Well, you can realize that yourself. I don't have to say that, because when you look into when you're watching TV, you will realize that every third or fourth ad involves Shah Rukh Khan in it. Well, his face sells, and the companies are ready to sign him, so they are ready to pay him, and there's nothing wrong. Yeah, there are certain brands which are questionable, like Fairness Cream and all, but then he says that I'm not asking you to buy it. I'm suggesting that you can use it. Now, picking up this particular product is left up to you, which is a very fair point, because everybody is above 18, or even if they are a little younger, we have enough sense on to whether to decide to pick up the product or not. So there's nothing wrong with that as well. Now, when I look at the third business, that's weddings. Now, did you know that he charges about 1 crore to attend a wedding, and almost somewhere near 8 crores to perform in this wedding? Right. Again, he's cashing on with his stardom, and stardom is not going to be permanent. He's going to be old soon. Maybe another 10 years he would have. He can rule the industry. Well, he's not ruling even now. Then maybe he can survive in the industry for another 10 years. So he's cashing in on that. I don't have issues with that as well. When you have a person who's ready to pay that particular amount, then there's nothing wrong in performing or going ahead and cashing the stardom, right? Now, the fourth point would be investments. Well, he's invested in a lot of different companies. Now, we know that Shah Rukh Khan owns KKR. Well, he's a part owner. There's Juhi Chawla as well, who is the owner of the company, and there are some other small shareholders in that, or even if you talk about Kids Mania. So he invests into companies which he thinks that would make money. And well, even me or you would do the same. If we see that there's an opportunity to make money, then we would definitely go ahead and invest into it. So there's nothing wrong with that as well. Now, the fifth business that is invested into is real estate. Now, this is something which is under the scanner, and that's what I'm getting into getting into the details out here with regards to why this particular thing is under the scanner. Now, when I say about real estate, now this is not something which is invested in India. This is something which is invested in Dubai. Okay, it's called SRK Boulevard. So he's got a partner in that as well. Now, it's because of his relationship with his partner here that this thing is come under scanner. The person that we are talking about is Tony Asai. Now, why is it that Tony Asai is a big issue here? Well, Tony Asai is a Dubai-based designer. When I say designer, it's not a fashion designer or something. He designs houses or luxury apartments. So, as a businessman, it's a very good choice that Shah Rukh Khan would have made, because I'm getting into real estate business, which I'm not expert in. Movie entertainment would be something which he is an expert in, but real estate would be something which is not an expert in. So he chose somebody who is into this business. Yeah. But then what's in question? Well, what is in question is one, Mr. Tony Asa is Pakistani. Well, just because I'm an Indian and somebody else is Pakistani, I would not say that you cannot go ahead and do business with him. But what Mr. Tony Asai does outside business is what is in question here. Mr. Asai is supposed to be linked with ISI. He's got his affiliations with quite a few terrorist groups. He is very close to Mr. Imran Khan. This is the reason why the company is come under scanner here with regards to why did he choose him. Now, before I get into why did he choose him, let me also tell you one more thing. If I go ahead and start a business somewhere, let's say I'm in Chikmagalur right now, I start a business in Bangalore and I choose a partner. What usually happens is that he would be my point of contact. So I tell you what would happen here with 10 years of business between Mr. Asai and Shah Rukh Khan. He would be his contact in Dubai or Pakistan or anywhere. Now, that's a very important point. I'll tell you why. And secondly, when I'm talking about this particular business, since he started this business with Mr. Asai, which is almost 10 years old now, there are two very important changes that's happened in Mr. Shah Rukh Khan's life. One, uh, he's been detained twice in US. Now, this was managed very well by his PR team, saying that there was a confusion with the name, and because he's a Khan, that was the reason this particular detaining happened. Twice somebody getting confused with the name is something which I have a question is with, and especially when this particular country that we are talking about is America. It's not some small company, that small country wherein they would not know who Shah Rukh Khan is. Shah Rukh Khan is a big name in America as well. So it's not possible that they would not be aware who Shah Rukh Khan is. Now, why did he get detained? Well, see, every country records our calls when a certain buzzword is used. When I'm talking about buzzwords, it would be something like terrorist, bombs, or maybe if I take somebody's name during my call wherein he is been wanted by Interpol or anything as such. That is when the call gets automatically recorded. Now, most of the countries who are doing well economically have this facility. Nobody would deny it. Nobody would go ahead and accept it as well. Well, because of privacy reasons, no country can go ahead and say, yes, we go ahead and record calls. Now, that is the reason why he was detained, because Shah Rukh Khan's name has come out so many times from Mr. Tony Asai's calls, or maybe Shah Rukh Khan and Tony Asai have been speaking. When you're naturally involved in business, they will go ahead and speak. And Mr. Tony Asai is always in touch with militant groups, or he's either raising the hate speeches. When I say speeches, it's to do with his tweets with regards to Kashmir. So he would be definitely somebody who every country would keep a watch on with regards to his connection with regards to these terrorist groups. Now, that is the reason why Mr. SRK was detained and not because his name is Khan, right? So don't get religious matter into this, saying that just because he's a Muslim, they did that. Because Americans or any country for that matter are not fools that they would take a big celebrity and go ahead and do all this, because their PR is also gonna get affected. Secondly, if you look at it, since he started his business with Mr. Asai, profits made by Shah Rukh Khan's movies abroad has increased, right? Now, why is it important? It's simple. Well, what happens is Mr. Asai is already, like I said, when I start a business somewhere, I would have one point contact. Because, like I said, if I start a business in Bangalore with someone I know, then he would be my contact in Bangalore. Same way, when Mr. Asai started business with him, he would get involved with everything, maybe his film career or anything. So, what happens is these movies as used as a source to convert your black money into white. What I mean is money laundering. How? Well, whether the movie runs or it doesn't run, they go ahead and say that this particular movie was a super hit, and they'll give you a certain amount of collection. Now, the movie is made in India, but the movie is released in a different country, and you cannot go ahead and check those records and say that if the collection data that is being given is right or wrong. Naturally, because that's not our country. We can go ahead and check into everything that's happening in India, but I cannot go ahead and check something that's happening in Pakistan or what's happening in Dubai, because that's not my country. And even if India tries to get the details, you would not get details from these countries, because the relationship with this particular country is not that great either. So what happens is these movies, whether it makes that much money. Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan is a big name. His movie would make huge money. But if it's made 100 rupees, they would go ahead and show that it's made 200 rupees. So that's the way to go ahead, and they'll pay the tax for the money that's been not made also. They'll go ahead and pay the tax. But paying minimal tax would help you convert your black money into white money. Now that is what has been happening. Okay. Now, like I said, I've watched enough videos with regards to Shah Rukh Khan. Now, I checked into most of his videos, and there are 2 points which he makes very clearly. Like I mentioned before, I look into two things. One, is the business legal? Secondly, am I passionate about it? Right? Now, if the business is legal, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Well, there is something called as business ethics as well, business morals as well, that we have to look into. But I've never seen him mention this in any of his interviews that I've gone into. And if I talk about the second point he makes is whether he's passionate or not. Now, I would like to give you a small example. Now, when I go ahead and make a video, it takes me about 2 to 3 days to go ahead and research into each and everything that I have doubts with. And I also think about what people would have doubts with regards to, and then go ahead and make a video, because I want to make a very unbiased video with regards to anything that I'm talking about. I don't want to sound like I belong to a particular party or I have some advantages by making this video. So I make sure that I'm very unbiased. So when you're passionate about something, when you start a business, would you not go ahead and verify that the person that I've chosen to do business with, is he worth it? Now, I'm okay if you're going ahead and doing a business with a Pakistani. I have no problem with this particular issue, because every Pakistani is not bad or every Indian is not bad. There would be certain fringe factors which will be there. But when I'm investing crores into a particular business, will I not go ahead and check as to the person that I've chosen? Is he worth it? Right? When I say worth it, is he somebody who's clean with his business? Does he have a dark background or dark past, which is something which I'll be aware of? Just because legally it is okay that I can go ahead and do business with Pakistan or a Pakistani, I would still think that, is this gonna affect me or my country? Because I've seen him say in आपकी अदालत interview as well, मैं सबसे बड़ा देशभक्त हूँ. Now, अगर आप सबसे बड़े देशभक्त हो, why did you choose a person to do business with who has a shady past, who has a shady present, He is still connected with Pakistani Prime Minister, ISI's head Mr. Bajwa. He's got his connections with different terrorist groups, and it's been 10 years as well. So you are very well aware. Okay, so I would not call you a Deshbhakt. I'm sorry. You are a businessman who is just worried about minting money and nothing else. All right. So please don't go ahead and say that I am somebody who loves his country the most. Well, if you loved your country the most, even if you're not aware as to what Mr. Tony Asai was involved in, once you would have realized that he's involved in all this, you would have definitely stopped the business. Okay. And please don't come back saying that you were not aware of this, because if you're passionate about something, you will definitely go ahead and research this. Guys, every video that I make takes a lot of effort, and the only thing that I'm asking for is your support by subscribing the channel. Thank you. Please